Something I've always loved about the forest is its refusal to be tidied up. You know, I love how unlike a city they are. Cities and towns are kind of uniform, structured, repetitive, in a hurry to get things done. To me, a forest is the opposite of those things. It's kind of a beautiful mess. And there's this random fluidity to it. You know, there's like a fallen tree, bird, meandering stream, and the bird song comes and goes in a kind of unpredictable way. I just keep coming back to this idea of a beautiful mess. So that's largely how I approached making this. I already had some nice clues as to how to decide the key, because Carl and I had a little forest jam with a few instruments, and Carl's handpan was in the key of A major, which kind of dictated, what you could play. So I started layering up all the recordings we'd captured in Charnwood and began to mess around with chords that fit that key. You can also hear Carl playing the flute there, which I don't think he knew I was recording him during that time, but it's quite nice. It's just completely fluid, and he's just kind of testing it here and there, and that really worked for me as well because it wasn't performative. It kind of fit quite nicely with the randomness I was looking for, so I left a lot of that in there. And in keeping with that idea of fluidity, I played without a tempo and tried not to make the chord progressions too repetitive or structured, and just took my time with it really. First I plucked the strings and laid those down, but then I wondered if those chords might work as a string section. So I got my bow and recorded each layer, starting with the root note of each chord. Luckily they were only triads, so it didn't take too long. Thinking about the trees and the wind, I had a go at interpreting how that might sound through various instruments. So I played some kind of arpeggios on a ukulele, and then I sort of was messing around and bouncing strings with pencils and things like that. And once you layer it up, you get this kind of swelling ebb and flow that has something about it that I thought matched the sway of the trees. Near the beginning of the piece, you can hear these high-pitched sounds which are grasshoppers. That was a great moment actually, where myself and Leon, another sound recordist, were headed to another part of the forest when we became aware of a whole orchestra of grasshoppers around us in the long grass. So we stopped, got out our recording gear, and managed to capture this macro world in quite a lot of detail. Leon even captured a few bees that buzzed directly past his microphone. But also in those same recordings you can hear children playing and people laughing in the background, kind of off in the distance, and that was really lovely because it really captured the essence of what it was like there that day. When I reached the end of the piece, I wanted to provide a sense of weight and depth, which I did by adding some more low register strings and a deep bass synth. Because a forest grounds you. You feel firmly rooted to the earth, and although it's beautiful, it's sometimes mysterious and timeless. There's an awesome ancient wisdom to it that we can only wonder at. So I played around a bit with the chord structure to create that shifting sense of the unknown, I suppose. I had initially ended on D minor, the chord that comes prior to the final string ending, but realised that felt a little bit too dark. So at the last minute I decided to shift upwards to E major for a bit of a more hopeful resolve.